Hello, thanks for tuning in to Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. Today is the last chapters of The Crimson Ghost, 7 through 12, so stick around and watch them. In this, remember Linda, who we're counting how many times she's been knocked unconscious. She was also in 2 other movie serials where she played the heroine. One was Zorro's Black Whip. At no time was Zorro actually mentioned. It was just she was referred to as the Black Whip. She was also the main character in The Tiger Woman, another great movie serial. And yes, we will be showing both of those at some time in the future. So I hope you stick around for chapters 7 through 12 of The Crimson Ghost. Thanks again. We'll be back.
finally managed to get her and bring her here.
Adequate compensation for the loss of the uranium.
But we can't use her to split atoms.
No, but we can use her to find out what Richards has in mind and prevent him from interfering with any more of my plans. Hand me the control collar and the medical instrument. My face may be a bit on the grotesque side, my dear, but you'll get used to it. As soon as I put this collar on you, I'll have complete control of your actions. My orders will come to you over this diaphragm, and only you will hear them. And now for the preliminary inoculation, which will rob you of all power to resist my command. I'm due at the university at 2 o'clock. As soon as she comes to, here's what I want you to do.
Station wagon was wrecked, but there was no sign of Diana.
Very regrettable.
Too bad. She may still be all right.
She may possibly have escaped, but so far a thorough search with the aid of the police has failed to uncover any leads.
You let us know as soon as anything develops. In the meantime, there's work to be done.
And I have an experiment to finish at the laboratory.
Diana?
Hello, Duncan.
Where have you been? What happened?
The dashboard short-circuited, so I knew I was within range of the cyclotrode. I jumped before the bridge exploded.
Smart girl. But that happened hours ago. Why didn't you call?
I
Tell him you were dazed and don't remember.
was dazed. I don't remember anything until I came to about an hour ago. There's nothing to worry about now.
Nothing except the Crimson Ghost and the cyclotrode. Fortunately, there's a way to nullify the power of the cyclotrode.
There is? Tell me about it, Duncan.
6 months ago, Professor Chambers and I developed a special isotron device to counteract the power of the cyclotrode in case it got in the wrong hands.
Why haven't you used it before?
I had to wait until a special prism was completed.
Ask him how it works.
How does it work?
Well, it's charged by these generators. The electrical impulses pass through a prism. That turns the power of the cyclotrode back upon itself and destroys it.
I can see how important the prism is.
Yes, I couldn't get it any sooner. It took 6 months to grind it. They called this morning and said it was ready. Will you file these? I'll step in and tell the professors you're okay. Then I'm going over to the optical company and pick up the prism.
Don't look now, pal, but you're covered. I'll take this prism, and you'll take the turns as I call them.
Crimson Ghost's attempt to steal this prism proves that he realizes that this machine will make the cyclotrode useless. He'll do everything in his power to stop me from completing it. It requires a terrific voltage to charge the prism, so I'll have to run the generators at full capacity. Be careful not to stand near any of the connections.
And Richards, the package.
This is for you.
What is it?
Open it.
Thanks.
Get the prism out of that machine. I'll give it a going over with this.
Kill Richard.
Now that was chapter 7 we just saw. Now it's coming up as chapter 8. Chapter 8 is called a recap chapter. It's basically also known as a cheater reel. What has happened is Republic, to save money, will take a chapter, only add a few extra scenes into it, and then recap what we saw before. So you're going to see about, out of the 13 minutes the chapter is, about 8 of it is going to be all recap or rerun to let people catch up to what they might have missed in the weeks before, or to also remind you. And the rest of it's going to add about 3 to 4 minutes of new stuff and end in another cliffhanger. So here we go with this chapter, and we'll be back after that one. Thank you.
you're going to talk and talk plenty.
Diana, remove the control collar.
Operator, get me Mercy Hospital at once, please. Mercy Hospital? Duncan Richards speaking. Send an ambulance to the chemical building at the university. At once, please.
What happened? Is she dead?
No, but Richards must have struck or drugged her.
Then she'll escape.
No one escapes my control collar. Any attempt to remove it would result in her instant death.
But Richards knows that. Why the hospital?
He means to try something. Just what it is, I'll learn when we meet in conference tomorrow morning.
Diana is at Mercy Hospital in a critical condition. She appears to be under the influence of some powerful drug. Dr. Gage is preparing a serum which he hopes will restore her to normal.
In other words, the doctor has a theory. He thinks and he hopes, but as a matter of fact, there's no real evidence the girl's condition is the result of a drug.
There is certainly evidence their will was under the control of some remote force. Her day's behavior was similar to that of Professor Chambers when he went to the bonded warehouse to get the cyclotrone. He refused to talk. He acted as though he were in a trance. What's up, Chambers?
Chamber, bring me the cyclotrone. Build up sufficient power to stop that car that's following us. Well, what are you waiting for? Stop it.
Of course, I was unable to follow them any farther, and the Crimson Ghost escaped.
Certainly you did all that could be done to save Chambers' life.
And to recover the cyclotrone.
Have you any reason to believe the girl will be mentally sound after this poisonous drug has been removed from her bloodstream?
Well, obviously, Professor Chambers, although he still wore the control collar, had been freed of the drug. He was sane enough to get the X7 radio tube into the hands of his jailers, and I was able to trace it. Turn right at the next corner. Here you are.
Why are you coming? This is all I need to complete the job. And you're ready to demonstrate it to the Crimson Ghost?
Bring him and the cyclotrode over, and I'll show him something he'll never forget.
Okay, I'll bring him over.
I'll be ready when you return.
We're getting close. Let's go the rest of the way on foot. You better take this.
Give me that wrench there, will you?
Sure.
It's in there. Stay here in case anyone comes back. Chambers had set the trap for the Crimson Ghost, but lost his own life in saving mine.
And presuming that you are successful in counteracting the drug, just how do you propose to take off Diana's control collar?
She'll be brought to my laboratory, where I've set up a powerful magnetic field. I hope to demagnetize the collar and clip it off.
You're taking a desperate chance.
I realize that, but Dr. Gage and a nurse will be there to assist me. We'll attempt to remove the collar at 8 o'clock tonight. Dr. Gage is late.
Yes, sir. He telephoned he's been delayed. He'll be here shortly. What will you do with this thing?
Just sit on and hold. I'll put this extension near the collar. The dial will show when it's free of the electrical charge.
Think I can put it over?
Why, of course. You're the right size and build. The mask will disguise your voice. Don't worry about the real Dr. Gage. He's been taken care of. I'll be waiting for you in a getaway car behind the gymnasium.
Okay.
Good evening, Dr. Gage.
Sorry to be late.
Oh, that's all right. The machine is ready. Will you look at the patient?
Temperature and pulse normal. You may proceed.
All right, Doctor. Oh, wouldn't you be more comfortable without that mask? It isn't necessary in this case, you know.
Probably not. I have a slight cold. Don't want to take any chances.
Oh, I see. and we'll go ahead. Now, it's highly important that once I start this machine, that a steady flow of electricity be maintained. Any stopping or slowing of the current might prove to be fatal. It's working. Watch the dial, nurse. This is a critical moment.
Okay, that was Chapter 8. I hope you all caught up with that. If not, hit the rerun button and watch it again. Now, for those that know what's going on, we're going to go to Chapter 9. In this, Clayton Moore, one more time, is in a mask. This time, a surgical mask. This guy can't get away without covering his face in a movie. We also see the return of Tom Seal. Now, you remember, he was killed off earlier. He was shot while he was wearing a mustache. Now, all of a sudden, he's back again, minus the mustache, talking to the Crimson Ghost. So watch out for that scene. Thanks again. We'll be back after this chapter.
It's highly important that once I start this machine, that a steady flow of electricity be maintained. Any stopping or slowing of the current might prove to be fatal. It's working. Watch the dial, nurse. This is a critical moment.
Power must have failed.
The plug is out. Are you sure you didn't kick it with your foot?
Are you insinuating that
I'm insinuating nothing. I'm asking you.
And I am answering you.
Why, that's not Dr. Gage.
Call the university guards at once.
Where am I?
You're all right now.
Who's that?
That's Ash. When we question him in the morning, I think we'll find out something about the Crimson Ghost.
seem to be making progress, Dave.
Yes, sir. Without uranium, I was forced to devise a new and much slower process. But we'll soon have enough heavy water for any purpose.
Good. We'll need a lot of it when the larger cyclotron is completed and in operation. Where's Ash?
I waited in the getaway car at the university. He didn't come out. Professor Richardson, the girl, did and drove off. So I beat it.
Which means Ash failed and is dead. Or a prisoner. If he's alive, we must arrange for his escape. Come.
Time for me to take over. Give me the keys to the cuffs.
Sure.
Nice work. Crimson Ghost promised me plenty for this.
Don't worry, you'll get your dough.
Down the back way, there's a car in the alley with a motor running. Hurry.
Okay.
What's going on here?
Didn't have to make it so realistic. Ah, quit complaining. Professor Richards punches pretty hard, too.
Thanks, boys. That'll be all.
We thought you were going to trail him.
I am. There's a television unit concealed in the back seat of the car Ash is driving. I can watch him from here.
Gee, a crook ain't safe anywhere nowadays.
You're just in time, Diana. No, thanks again, boys.
Any time, Professor.
Now we'll do a little spying on Mr. Ash.
Look, there he is. He's coming into focus now. Why, that's Oak Street. He's turning west. He's watching to see if he's being followed.
Right. We'll wait until he thinks he's safe, and I hope he goes to their headquarters. Hello? Oh, I'm sorry, Professor Van Wyck, but I won't be able to attend the meeting today.
And why not? I see. All right, Duncan.
What's wrong?
It seems he captured one of the criminals and purposely let him escape.
What?
He's devised some means of trailing the crook. They expect to be able to follow him to the Ghost headquarters.
Well, I hope his scheme works.
So do I. But Duncan hasn't been very successful so far. There's nothing to be done here. Good day, gentlemen.
Van Wyck? Parker?
He circled the park twice to make sure he isn't followed.
Yes, but he seems satisfied now. He's turning north on Crest Highway. I'll start. Keep in touch with me by radio.
Duncan,
Yes?
he's turned off the highway onto Canyon Road.
Check.
stopped at the end of the canyon and went into a tunnel.
Good. Must be their headquarters. Hold on until I get there.
Right. Duncan, the Crimson Ghost just got out of his car and went into the tunnel, too.
Our plan worked. I'll soon be there and capture him, and Ash, too.
The experiment is a huge success.
That'll be all the experimenting for today. I'm curious to know who you are. Take off that mask. Now we'll see who you are. Ash. So, it's a trick.
You guessed correctly, my dear professor. Drop it. And now...
Gonna blow. Get the heavy water flask.
Idea who the Crimson Ghost is yet? Well, it's narrowing down a lot quicker than you might think. In this, you're going to see an accident that happens where a truck goes off into the river. That was used several times in other Republic serials. So watch out for that scene. You're going to see it again. Bye.
gonna blow.
Get the heavy water flask.
The laboratory was destroyed, but the Crimson Ghost escaped with the heavy water.
An amazing tale, Richards.
Almost unbelievable, in fact.
As I was trying to say, I can't understand what the Crimson Ghost would want all that heavy water for.
Offhand, I'd think he might be planning to use it in a large-scale model of the cyclotron, one that could possibly paralyze an entire city.
And there isn't a chance of finding your so-called Crimson Ghost or stopping him from carrying out his criminal plan.
The picture isn't as black as that. You see, during the fight, one of the gloves was ripped from the ghost's hand, and he left his fingerprints all over the place.
I thought the explosion destroyed everything in the cave.
Sure, but it didn't shake any fingerprints loose from the wreckage.
I see. Then you're going to dust and photograph everything in the cave for fingerprints.
Exactly. I've had the wreckage hauled over to the pier warehouse. It'll be easier for me to work on it there.
I must confess, I still don't understand how this will uncover the Crimson Ghost.
Gentlemen, I promise you that if a suspicion I have is correct, just one fingerprint is all I'll need to confirm it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll get my equipment ready to move out to the warehouse.
Professor Richards has sent a truckload of wrecked equipment from the cave to the pier warehouse.
That junk? What's he expect to do, reconstruct the scene of the crime?
No, he intends to check it for fingerprints.
That's impossible. He can't get any fingerprints out of that mess.
I don't know what he can or can't do, but I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to the warehouse and destroy that evidence. In the meantime, you must stop Richards from getting there.
I'll take care of him.
So far, every step I take against the Crimson Ghost seems to be known in advance,
And the professors are the only ones you confide in.
which is why I suspect that one of them is the Crimson Ghost, or closely associated with him.
It seems incredible.
I know, but it's the only lead I have. So now I'm trying to force the guilty one to show his hand.
So that's why you told him about the fingerprints that don't exist.
Right. That wreckage in the truck at the warehouse is just bait to draw out the Crimson Ghost.
We'll be trapped here all day.
He's only got 4 shots left. When he tries to reload, I'll rush him. You see if you can get the car started. Stay in, Diana. Let's go.
We can't, Duncan. It's stuck. Looks like the Crimson Ghost was pretty anxious to keep us from getting to that warehouse.
We can still make it.
We can? How?
On foot. If we cut across the peninsula here, it's only about a half mile to the warehouse. Not so fast. Well, Professor Van Wyck, or do you prefer being called the Crimson Ghost?
Now, don't jump to any obvious conclusions, Richards. I only came here to save this evidence from...
That's what I hoped would happen. I suspected that the guilty professor might show up here just for that purpose.
You just listen to reason. I could explain everything.
You'll explain, all right, but to the proper authorities.
I'll be glad to. There's no use in trying to get anything through that stubborn head of yours.
That's better. Now hop in there. Thanks to your friend Ash, we'll have to use this for transportation.
Don't move. Drop your gun and put your hands up.
that was chapter 10. Now on to chapter 11, double murder. The list of people that might be the Crimson Ghost is really narrowing down. Any ideas yet? Just keep counting. You're going to find somebody's got to be the Crimson Ghost at the very end of these. And we'll be back after this one, the last chapter. Thanks. Coming up.
Get him out of here.
Aren't you afraid now that Professor Van Wyck is dead, that Richards will suspect which one of the professors you are?
Suspicion is one thing, and getting proof is another. The important thing is to finish the cyclotron at once.
You still distrust me. This blindfolding is a nuisance.
But quite necessary, Count Fater. Your success as an international agent has likewise been built upon complete distrust of your fellow man.
When will this be ready for a demonstration?
In a couple of days. Through the television screen, you will have the pleasure of seeing what happens when all the city's power and electricity has stopped.
That'll cause a lot of accidents and death. Make the cops turn on the heat.
The cool millions being paid to me by the foreign country Count Fater represents will justify the result.
But there is one other condition. I must have the original plans of the cyclotron, so that I will be sure that no one else in this country ever attempts to build one.
Young Richards has them, and he's the only one who knows where they are. However, I have a way of listening in on it now, and he may be enticed into dropping a hint as to where the plans may be.
Hello.
Hello.
I hope you won't think I'm curious if I ask you what's in the wire.
It's from Dr. Fred A. Cushing, psychiatrist and specialist in criminal psychology. I'm going to let him have a talk with Professors Parker and Maxwell. Since the death of Professor Van Wyck, it's evident that one of the two is the Crimson Ghost.
And do you think this Dr. Cushing will be able to find out which one's behind all this trouble?
He'll be able to tell which one might be the criminal type. That'll give me a chance to concentrate on him and build up some evidence.
It sounds like a good possibility.
Yes, it is. I'll introduce Cushing as a government expert interested in the cyclotrode. We better hurry and have dinner. Cushing gets in tonight, the 7 o'clock plane, and he'll come directly here from the airport.
I'm glad you mentioned eating because I'm starved.
Oh, thank you, Professor.
We better hurry and have dinner. Cushing arrives tonight in the 7 o'clock plane. They'll come directly here from the airport.
This is our opportunity to get those cyclotrode plans from Richards. This Dr. Cushing will have Richards' complete confidence and be able to secure anything he asks for. So all we need to do is substitute our Dr. Blackton for him. Good evening. I'm Dr. Cushing. I'm looking for Professor Richards.
Yes, he's expecting you. He'll be right back. May I take your things?
Thank you.
Won't you sit down?
Blackton, make sure the control collar doesn't show.
Did you have a nice trip, Doctor?
Very pleasant, thank you.
Professor Richards, this is Dr. Cushing.
How do you do, Doctor?
What do you do, Richard?
I'm sorry to be late.
Oh, that's quite all right. The young lady here has made me feel right at home.
I realize you can only spare a few days, Doctor, so we'll get right down to business.
That's right, Richard. Now, as I understand it, you want me to talk to these two professors and subtly test them for paranoia or other criminal tendencies.
Exactly. I thought I'd introduce you as a government expert interested in the cyclotrode.
Well, I'm afraid I'll have to have more than an amateur's knowledge of the cyclotrode. Perhaps I could use its plans to study overnight.
Why, yeah, certainly. But I'll have to send out for them. You see, since all this trouble started, I've been keeping my valuable papers in a safe at the apartment I rented secretly. Oh, Diana, will you get the plans for me?
Of course.
It's apartment 917, 806 Hill Street. Here, I'll give you the combination to the safe.
I'll be right back.
Take a man and go to Richard's apartment at once. Get the plans from that girl when she opens the safe.
Diana won't be long, Doctor. While we're waiting, I wonder, would you mind autographing my copy of your new book?
Why, I'd be glad to. I hope you enjoy reading it.
I'm sure I will. By the way, Doctor, I've often wondered whether your middle initial A stands for Albert, the same as mine.
Why, it does happen to be Albert.
I happen to know that Dr. Cushing's middle name is Arden, and that he's left-handed as mentioned in an earlier book. You sign that autograph with your right hand.
Well, don't alibi, kill him.
What's your game? Now, supposing you tell me where Cushing is and who you are. see what you can tell me about the Crimson Ghost.
Aye, aye. Take off the control collar.
Hello?
Hello, Diana. Diana! Diana!
And so you'll open the safe and give us the cyclotrode plans.
I will not.
I think you will. Now open it.
Let me work her over, Ash.
Go ahead.
You better talk, sister.
Oh, wait. I'll open it.
That's better.
Landed in the alley. Let's get it. the alley. Let's get it.
Well, nothing on the dead man to give us a clue, and no sign of the cyclotrope plans. Ash must have gotten them.
Why do you suppose the Crimson Ghost wants those plans? After all, he has the cyclotrode.
Maybe to check or verify some detail on the large model.
But you don't even really know that he's building one.
It's a pretty good guess. A criminal of his caliber wouldn't be satisfied with a small model. I wonder why Mrs. Malloy left this out here.
What's the matter?
It's a lot heavier than it should be.
What is it?
It's a wire recorder.
Then someone's been picking this up and listening to everything we've said here.
I'm afraid that's right. Now that we found out about it, we ought to be able to turn the tables on them.
How?
We'll wipe off the conversation that's recorded here and substitute some information of our own. Then I'll bait the trap with some similar remarks at the meeting this afternoon.
You place too little importance on the fact that the Crimson Ghost now has a cyclotrode plan and can build an enlarged machine.
No, I've anticipated the building of a larger cyclotrode and have taken steps to meet and avert any attack that may be made with it.
Taken what steps?
I've constructed another isotron. The moment the cyclotrode begins to operate, my device will bend back its rays, destroying the machine and all who are near it.
What assurance have you that your isotron will not be destroyed as the other one was?
It's well hidden at my apartment and under guard. I'm going there now to make some final adjustments. Then, let the Crimson Ghost strike if he dares.
Duncan suspects that the Crimson Ghost is one of his associates at the university. So he told us a story about having an isotron that will turn back the cyclotrode's rays and destroy it.
And you do not believe him?
I'm sure his story is nothing more than a clumsy attempt to draw me into a trap.
Mrs. Malloy just brought in the recorder.
Good. Now we will hear the real plans of the great criminologist, Richard.
But you didn't take Professors Parker and Maxwell into your confidence.
Naturally not. I'm convinced that one of them is the Crimson Ghost.
Then there really isn't an isotron.
Oh, yes, there is. But not at my apartment. It's concealed in the wall cabinet in the main room of the university storage building. It's already in operation and will destroy the cyclotrode and its operators, just as I warned them.
So, he's a fool, is he, this Duncan Richards? It is you he makes the fool.
Silence! Get that isotron and bring it here immediately. I will not start the demonstration until it's in my hands.
What is that stuff?
Trapper scent. The dog will follow it anywhere. Go get him, Timmy.
Why, this is a fake. A trumped-up imitation of the isotron. Why, it's useless. Richards has devised some means of trailing you.
Not a chance. Nobody saw me leave there or arrive.
We can't be sure of that. Go outside and stand guard. Bain, start the cyclotron.
What happened?
They must have turned on the cyclotron. Here, Timmy. Let's go.
Now watch that plane. Easy victims for our little monster here.
Wait here. I'll have to get him before he can give an alarm.
Watch him.
And now we'll go into the heart of the city, where we will first destroy all communication systems, leaving the police helpless to stem the rising tide of panic and disaster. While the power is irresistible, nothing can stop it.
That stopped it, my ghostly friend. Get your hands up. Let's have a look at his ugly face. After weeks of following blind trails, it finally became evident that the Crimson Ghost must be a member of the faculty here at the university. But then I found the wire recorder and forced a move that brought me face to face with the Crimson Ghost. Take him away, Inspector.
Come along.
Now that was chapter 12. If you haven't figured out who the Crimson Ghost is by now, it's too late. They already showed it. So we'll be showing a couple of Superman cartoons after this, and join us next time for Don's Breakfast Cereal. If you have any suggestions, you can also catch me on Facebook under Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. Let me know if you want to see any cereals that might come to mind, and let me know how you think the show is going. And thanks again for tuning in. This is Don O'Malley. Good night.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
What do you think of the professor's show now?
I still think it's pretty dangerous business.
Hope nothing goes wrong.
And I realize, gentlemen, that the safety of the public is of special import to you. Perhaps almost as important to you as my ambitions are to me. But you request that I give up my experiments, experiments which are the combination of 30 years of dreaming and planning is impossible. Tonight, those dreams will become real. The Comet of Falcon will be my toy. Under my control, it will be brought to within a mile of us. Then, after a close examination, I'll send it back again into space.
You're tampering with nature and endangers thousands of lives.
Yes, and even at the possible cost of those lives, I shall continue my experiment.
I warn you, Professor, we're prepared to stop you.
And I warn you, sir, any interference may prove disastrous. Stop! listen to me, you meddling fools.
Do you know that the power...
Without that power, the comet is out of my control. The pull of gravity will bring it crashing to Earth any minute. Stop! Do you hear?
City editor.
Look, Chief, the panic's on. The thing's gone haywire.
Lois. Lois, what happened? Lois. Are you all right?
Yes, for the moment, but
Miss Lane, the controls.
Oh, Superman, you were wonderful.
You're pretty wonderful yourself.
Oh, how did you get here?
Thanks to Superman.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a streak of lightning. More powerful than the pounding surf. Mightier than a roaring hurricane. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
could sleep for a racket like this?
But it's been going on every night since we've been interned. What do you suppose it could be?
Could be sabotage, I hope.
Me too. But who? Clark, do you suppose...
Yes, Lois?
Oh, nothing. Just a silly hunch that maybe Superman might be over here.
Quiet. Do not talk. Shanasta! This sabotage must stop at once. Konetawa! Miss Lane.
This way, please. How does it feel to be home? Smile, please.
How about Clark Kent? Did he get away?
No. No, he's still over there. But don't worry. Superman promised to look after him.
Remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
And while on a hunting trip, my father discovered what are now known as the Henderson Caverns. More than 40 years ago, he mysteriously disappeared while exploring them further. Recently, I found these maps and charts he left, suggesting that still greater wonders and mysteries lay beyond in this vast underground world. Now, if your paper will help finance the expedition, I will take Miss Lane and Mr. Kent with me and guarantee the Daily Planet exclusive rights to the story.
Sounds like a great story, Chief.
I'd love to go.
Well, let me see.
All right, it's a deal.
Thanks, Mr. White. We can leave immediately. Careful now. Those are explosives for the blasting we'll have to do. We're shoving off, Kent. Meet you in the Blue Grotto.
So long, Clark.
See you later, Lois.
is remarkable. Is that...
Yes, my father. But what would they be doing with a statue of him?
And the sun! And the sun! And the sun! Lawrence! Lawrence! And the sun! Lawrence!
This is a job for Superman. It's really a great story, Lois. But no one would ever believe it.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Faster than a streak of lightning. More powerful than the pounding surf. Mightier than a roaring hurricane. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Flash. Following closely in the wake of a series of baffling crimes, the body of an elderly man has just been found in the marsh flats outside the city. He has been identified as the watchman at the Metropolis Munitions Plant.
There's a story, or I'm no reporter.
He is believed to be the victim of an organized ring of saboteurs. More news later.
Sounds like there might be a story at the plant, Lois.
Lois? Me name is Louis, not Lois. Gee whiz, everybody interpolates me name wrong. It's Louis. L-O-U-I-S. Lois. Louise. Lucy. Now I'm so mixed up, I don't know who I am.
Okay, watchman. Take your post in the main shop and be on the alert. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, pardon me.
Upstairs, 12 o'clock. Very important. Report upstairs, 12 o'clock. Very important. I wonder what the big shot was.
That was a good job you did on the watchman last night. Now, how about that dynamite charge under the shops?
It's wired to the switch on the plant floor below. When the new watchman pulls that switch tonight, the whole place will...
Get that girl.
All right, men. Now load in the dynamite.
Jones speaking.
Hello, Jones. We're ready for the test. Send out the torpedo immediately.
Immediately. Here comes the torpedo now. And that old hulk out there is the target. Naturally, for experimental purposes, there is no explosive in the torpedo.
Okay, stand by. Ready? Fire!
Miss Lane, are you all right?
Superman. They're about to blow up the plant.
Hurry, throw that switch.
Well, Pop, Superman put an end to their little act, and this puts an end to yours, Clark Kent.